commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal. But we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, that soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers. So on both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop. And we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding, the rebuilding. And we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things, and we appreciate everybody being here. It's somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, if you'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for the invitation. And really, I hope that this first document will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course the infrastructure or security guarantees, because for today I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course I want to discuss with you what the United States will be ready to do, and I really count on your strong position to stop Putin, and you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he's a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later. And of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians, and I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States, and we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secured. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that these crazy Russians, that they stolen 20,000 of children, Ukrainian children. They changed their names, they changed their families, relatives, and now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back. And really, it's a big dream, task, and goal for me, and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we exchanged, released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. What the changes with images of children, because I will just share with you. I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, it's tough stuff.
I wanted very much to give you, and you see it.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. At the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to show you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that ended, right?
Yeah. Of course, we will.
And I think we will. And
we have to, of course.
Do you have any questions, please?
Will you continue to ask about the president?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. With how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do. This puts us in great shape.
And long-term security for Ukraine. How does this provide?
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And, you know, they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to – this is a tremendous amount of money. And what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now at least we're protected because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now. And what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country. This allows us to do this.
Will you continue?
I'm sorry. Can I?
Military aid.
Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just, yes. In the document, there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next document, but anyway, here we
President Zelensky, do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side at this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes. And Putin, the president speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question with...
Hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all. It's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile, to put it mildly. They've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many times, we were talking about it with Pete, many times the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being, and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. Do you think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to, thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and by the way, we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and this was one of the things. I said, we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelensky.
No.
Why don't you wear a suit?
Why?
Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see, do you own a suit?
You have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't have
this
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one,
Maybe something like
like
this.
yours. Yes,
That'd be great.
maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump. You said
Mr.
yesterday.
President, are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine, yeah, sure. Hopefully I won't have to send very much, because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement, because we needed what they had, and we're treating, you know, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, you know, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much, because I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet, because I want to get the deal done. You know, you fall into the same trap like everybody else. 1 million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. You know, we have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over. Question? Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure that Ukraine to build by Russia because it started a war by international
Part of
law.
that involved, though, re-engaging with Russia in
That is
diplomatic
take.
relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and do that?
Oh, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. That's very. I like the
Said they want to
question.
be a man of peace.
I think it's a very good question. It is. It's a pathway
If
to
it
peace. It's a
empowered, yeah.
pathway to getting something solved.
would
And I
have
feel
started.
that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that.
As
Plus,
so many
you know,
wars.
we're very much
Correct.
involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have
Yeah.
been no involvement because there should have
And
been no
what is
war.
even-
And there
should
shouldn't have been
done
October
in the
7th.
past.
That
Yes.
would have never happened. As you know, Iran was
Out of
broke.
war.
They had
They
no
didn't
money
go
to give to
into war.
Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas.
millions
They were
of the
stone cold broke.
So-called
And
teamwork.
then under Biden, they became
Huge.
rich as hell.
He said,
They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve.
Their meeting was refreshing.
no, I appreciate your question very
However,
much. It's just, I feel I have an obligation to
question
try
mark
and
in the meeting
do something to stop the death.
where
If I can answer,
find the
yes,
balance.
if I can answer,
Please,
sorry,
go ahead.
please,
Don't.
please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
that war
Even though I have
will
to,
continue.
I think he's a
Yeah,
great guy,
yeah,
by the way.
Because
But I don't know if you two
issue
like
of
each other,
security.
but you know what?
We're talking about
I think
No,
he's
no,
dressed, I think he's
why? I
dressed
like
beautifully.
this guy. I don't know
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have
Any
more.
agreement with that
I have more
security
serious things than
is
answer
blameless.
on such
Yes,
questions.
sure, that's
I will
okay.
answer
Putin
on
and
more
Putin.
serious
That's a good
question if
statement.
I can.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
5 times,
so please,
it still goes
about security guarantees and
Of
about
peace.
the ceasefire. If we are not strong
And
enough,
5 times.
we are empty. If our storage is empty, we can't defend
don't see any peace.
our land. Today, you know, he
No,
knows
that's correct.
that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes, why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc.
Watch and
Ballistic.
see.
So he knows that we are here and that President
I
Trump
found
is
out.
really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States and the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop, and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. You know, it's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know, but with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us. And you are right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia change its
Mr. President, may I one more question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
I asked President
They have to
Zelensky
pay.
this question. He
This
didn't
is
like
the rule.
because-
This is the rule of the
because I-
war.
I'm
This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay. This is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's
Mr.
not enough.
President, I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know.
Go ahead, please. Wait 1 second.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and
Yes,
Ukraine
I
or
do.
on the Ukraine side.
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country.
Yeah.
Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. As you know, they paid more than they had to. They've also been obviously very helpful. But we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize. Yeah, please, go ahead.
It's a great change between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing.
We made a deal. So
What was the
I'm
difference?
just,
Was there a deciding factor, or was
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed. I didn't think we were going to make a deal. And we ended up making the deal. So that changed. You
Mr.
know?
President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay, they do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay, the United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Mr. President?
About sorry, about any
Putin.
negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war.
What did I
But
do?
at the future, any negotiations,
What do I
it's
do?
understandable that
With all
two
this
sides
assassin.
of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the
Well,
war
one
between
for
Russia and the
business, yes.
United States. This is war of Russia against
Fight
Ukraine
for
and Ukrainian
the war
people.
to
So
stop.
these two sides will be at the
Ukraine
will be at the
is the country of two.
negotiation table. Then of course
Well, now
United
they recognize
States,
them.
like the strongest partner
Like,
of the
Let
Ukraine,
them all have a look
and of
about all
course
this.
Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to
Do
speak about
something
Europe,
about the
President.
war.
Yes, Europe is very
Thought the war
important
is
for us
started.
because we really
Putin.
defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And
The war must
also,
stop.
it's about the need. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big,
As
nice
Ukraine.
ocean. Yes, between
A
us.
country
But
of two,
if we will
sovereignty
not
of
stay,
two.
Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way.
A
But first to the
preference
Baltics. It's
is not the
understandable
most.
for them because they've been they've been in
First of
the
all,
USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin
Very
wants
like
to
Antonio
bring
Comey
them back
Comey
to his
What do you
empire.
want, war?
It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay,
You enter the
he
Wadi
will
war.
fight.
See
Your
it.
American soldiers. It
God
doesn't
bless
matter.
you.
Do you have ocean
Ocean.
or not? Your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine?
Is it the same now?
Which is known to be a 30-year-old Black Sea.
What
It
the
was
king
my
is?
question.
I'll be happy. Both
I don't
sides.
want to talk about Odessa.
Why not happy?
Let's not talk about
We are
Odessa.
one.
I want to talk about
We are one.
making a deal, getting peace. We
Stop
don't have
the
to talk
killing.
about Odessa,
Stop the war.
but a
No
lot of
more war.
cities have been destroyed. There are a lot of cities that
Is it
are
the same now?
not recognizable. There's not a building
We are
standing.
one family.
And a lot of
We are
a lot
to
of
come,
things have
Mr.
to happen.
President. You have
We
to come
are
and to
one
look.
family.
No.
We are
have
one.
very good cities.
So let's
Yes,
stop
a lot
the
of things
killing.
have been destroyed, but
Let's stop the
mostly
hatred.
cities alive and people
When there is
work
love.
and children go to
People
school.
cannot see
Sometimes
it.
very
They
difficult.
cannot love
Sometimes
love.
closer to front line.
Love comes from inside.
To underground schools or
Like
online.
Mandela said.
We live. Ukraine is fighting
Putin.
and Ukraine lives. This is very important.
And
Maybe it's Putin
and
who's sharing
Babla
this information
culture.
that he
Thank you.
destroyed
God bless
us.
you.
He
Mayor
lost
of Great Britain.
700,000
Thank you.
people.
God bless.
700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President,
Mr.
when did you
President,
last speak
one
with-
more.
when did-
I mentioned
No, no.
Mr.
Poland.
President, thank you.
Please,
Mr.
go ahead.
President, when did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple
he-
of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good, and I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do.